So good morning. Today is 10 June 2023. My name is Jay Waters. I'm with the American Wartime Expedition Experience, and we're doing oral history interviews, Voices of Freedom. We're out in Stephen City, Virginia, and it's my pleasure this morning to interview Mr. Gereland Bland. Sir, good morning.
Good morning.
If you could, for the record, give us your full name.
Gereland W. Bland.
And sir, where were you born and when were you born?
Shepherdstown.
Okay. And what wars did you participate in?
Well, I went in 1949, so I was in during part of the Korean conflict, the tail end of it. Vietnam, basically.
Okay. And we'll talk more about that, but I understand Vietnam twice?
Twice, yes.
All right. Well, thank you for your service. Well, looking back, so 1932. Think about for a second December 7th, 1941. You were a young boy. Do you remember that, the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor?
Vaguely remember it. Of course, we were in the country on the farm, no television, and very few radios.
So how did you find out? What did you hear? What was it?
It was on the radio, basically, yes. Mm-hmm.
And were you in West Virginia?
Yes.
At the time? What did you think? What did you think was going on when you heard about that?
I was too young to know,
Okay.
you know.
Well, how about fast forward then? Think about September 11th, 2001, the terrorist attack on New York City.
Well,
and
yeah.
Where were you then? And tell us about that experience.
2001.
When the Twin Towers got hit by the planes.
I know. I was out of the Army then. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I was in West Virginia,
Yeah.
Petersburg, West Virginia.
Okay.
That's where I finally settled down. You may cut this out, but the government took our land at the mouth of Seneca, West Virginia.
Okay.
So when I retired from the Army, I had to find a new place to live, and Petersburg was the place.
Okay.
West Virginia.
What were your thoughts though when? And I'm sorry about the land being taken, but
Well, it is what it is, you know.
When you heard about the terrorist attack, what would you think?
Well, them things don't register with me being out in the country, you know, like they would someone in the city close to it.
Okay. Okay. Well, why did you join the military? Why did you join the Army?
Tired of going to school.
Tired of going to school? Okay. So that was in 1949.
1949
Living in West Virginia.
in West Virginia.
Go down to the recruiting station?
No. I was on my way to school, high school, right? And the deputy sheriff come around with volunteer papers for my daddy to sign, and he signed them. And instead of going to school, I got on the bus and went to Martinsburg.
Okay.
Signed up for the Army. Well, was in the Army then. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Martinsburg, another West Virginia place, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Well, so then, where'd you go for your initial training?
Fort Knox, Kentucky.
And how was that?
Well, it wasn't that bad, to tell you the truth, because on the farm you learn how to work, you learn how to pay attention, and it was, 14, 16 weeks of basic then? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you felt like you could do it?
Oh yeah,
pay
I didn't have no
follow
trouble.
rules,
Yeah.
Okay. Did you get any other follow-on training, specialized training?
I went to school at Fort Eustis, Virginia, transportation school.
Okay. Anything stand out about Fort
Oh,
Eustis?
it was a new experience. Fort Eustis, close to Newport News, big city, you know. I think I was there about 2 years.
Okay.
Till I went overseas.
Yeah. So what was your? So you went to basic training, then you went to Fort Eustis transportation. What was your specialty? What were they training you to do?
Drive truck.
Drive a truck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I went to Germany as transportation.
Germany.
Yeah.
And what was your? Where'd you go in Germany?
Stuttgart area.
Okay. And I take it you drove a truck.
Yeah. Well, when they started to build up the forces in Germany in the 50s, we transported a lot of troops from the railhead to their permanent station.
Okay. Yeah, troop build up.
Yeah.
How long were you in Germany?
First time, 2 years.
Okay. So there was a second
No,
time.
I was there 3 years.
3 years. Okay.
I re-enlisted, came home. When I went back, started a new tour.
But you liked it. It sounds like.
No,
No.
they kept me.
They kept you.
I was out of country for 30 days.
Okay. Anything stand out about your time in Germany? Something fun or exciting or scary for that matter?
Oh, not really. My buddy and I had motorcycles, and we done a lot of touring to the recreation centers and so forth.
Okay.
Munich, Berchtesgaden, them type of places, yes.
Do you speak German?
Etwas.
A little bit?
A little bit.
Okay. I don't speak any German, so. Okay. Eventually, you ended up in Vietnam. How did that
Well,
transpire?
it's been so long ago, it's hard to remember.
Sure. Just general terms.
I had 2 tours in Germany. I had 2 tours in Alaska and 2 tours in Vietnam. My first tour in Vietnam, I was at Fort Belvoir with the 100th Engineer Float Bridge Company.
Yeah.
We went to Vietnam as a unit.
It's a float bridge company?
Float bridge, yes, sir.
I think I know what that is, but why don't you tell us for the recording here
Where?
what a float bridge is?
Well, you have rubber floats you fill with air, set the bridge on top of them, and they float in the water as the vehicles go across. They articulate with the load.
Okay.
I went to Vietnam with that same unit, the 100th Engineer Company.
And when you were in Vietnam, did you put these bridges
Oh
to
yeah,
use?
oh yeah, yeah.
So what was that like? I mean, does it take a long time, or is it quick? Or?
It takes time, but it's quick. I had a raft operation, Class 60. We carry a Class 60 load on the Mekong River, right next to the Delta.
Yeah.
And we were there for 6 months living in the field, doing bridge. Yeah.
And I would imagine at times you were getting attacked or harassed?
Not really.
Not
We
too
had
much.
the 173rd Airborne Brigade was
Okay.
doing a sweep of the jungle on the other side of the river, so that kind of kept things cleared out and calmed down.
But you never knew.
You never knew, no.
Never knew.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the bridge site that we had, one span of the bridge was still standing, and the platoon set their bedding up on that span of the bridge because it was high and dry, right?
Sure.
Well, the SEAL Navy divers come along and done an inspection of the bridge pier and found satchel charges on it. So the troops moved off of the bridge real quick.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that could have been bad, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And these bridges, so to me it sounds like it's a temporary thing. You
Oh
put
yeah,
it in,
yeah.
people
Put it in,
go
take it
across,
out, take it wherever you.
deflate the tubes or whatever.
Yeah, you inflate them and set the deck on top of them with a crane, of course.
Mm-hmm.
The raft we had 6 pontoons on it, and it would carry a Class 60 load. Doesn't mean it's a 60-ton bridge. It's
Okay,
a class of
60,
load.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Here's kind of a weird question, but you ever run into any like exotic animals or dangerous animals or
Oh, yeah.
snakes and stuff? Anything stand out there?
My platoon in Vietnam had a python, or my company had a python on top of the communications bunker.
Ooh.
It was about 12 feet long and bigger than your arm.
That's a
Yeah.
that's a bad one.
Yeah, that's a bad one, yeah.
What'd y'all do?
Well, he got loose, and the Vietnamese chopped his head off,
Okay.
cut him up in pieces, took him home for eat.
Eat it. Yeah.
Number one, chop chop.
Chop chop. Well, in your unit, the 100th Engineer Company, were some of the guys draftees, or was it all?
Oh yeah,
volunteers?
it was a mixture. Draftees, volunteers.
Yeah. What was that like? Was there any?
We never had no problem.
No.
You know, there's always one bad one, but everyone got along, especially in Vietnam. Yeah.
But even the bad one, that could have been a guy who joined. It wasn't necessarily just because.
No,
he was a
right,
draftee,
yeah.
So yeah. But
Basically, when you're working with them, there's no difference.
yeah.
They're all the same group of people. Yeah.
And what was your rank now at the time? Your first tour in Vietnam?
E6.
Okay, so you've been promoted
Yeah.
several times.
Yeah.
Good, good.
Yeah.
And how were your living conditions on the first
Tents.
tour? Tents.
Squad tents. Yeah.
Yeah, but like a little bit permanent, or every night you were putting up a tent in the
No, they were permanent tents.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now my second tour, same area, we had metal buildings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same area, same unit, the 100th.
Yeah.
Again? Doing the same stuff.
Doing the same stuff. Yeah.
And were you still an E6 or had you
No,
been promoted?
the second tour I was first sergeant.
Okay, first sergeant.
Yeah.
Well, and again, I certainly know what that is. You know that. Just tell folks, what is a first sergeant for a company?
First sergeant is in charge of the company, the top enlisted man in the company. And like in Alaska, when I made first sergeant, I had 5 platoons and 220 men.
Yeah, so they called you top, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Stood readily in Alaska. 562nd Engineer Company.
Hmm.
We stood readily every morning. Didn't care how cold it was, you still stood readily.
Early in the morning,
Oh yeah, 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
One morning we standing readily. Company commander said, I was in charge of the bridge platoon then, right? Company commander said, Sergeant Bland, front and center. Well, I won't say what I said, but what do I do now? I went up and reported to him. He said, you are now my first sergeant. I was only an E7, and they were E8s in the company.
Yeah.
I said, are you sure, sir? Yes, I'm sure. Take charge of the company. And I was on the promotion board.
Okay.
And about 3 months later, I was first sergeant.
Yeah. So he must have saw some extra leadership.
Well, I was on the, waiting for the rank to come through, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you mentioned before 2 tours in Alaska.
2 tours in Alaska, same unit.
Same unit, a bridging unit as
Yeah.
well.
2 tours in Vietnam, same unit.
How'd you like Alaska?
I loved it. I loved it.
And where were you?
At
Alaska?
Anchorage.
Anchorage.
Yeah.
You loved it.
Yeah.
What'd you like about Alaska?
Things to do. My first tour up there, we had a gold mine.
What do you mean?
Placer gold. You know,
Oh,
shake the gravel,
Yeah.
get the gold out of it. I
Oh.
still got about an ounce of gold at home that
Oh,
I
really?
brought home from Alaska. Yeah.
so
Real gold.
Yeah, when you weren't working, you could go.
Well, every weekend we
Yeah.
could go. When we were off, you know,
Yeah.
we go. We had a campsite on the river. We had a claim, gold claim, that we'd go to and work every weekend. And that we were off.
Yeah.
Uh,
And you found some gold.
oh yeah.
Did you sell it or you kept it on?
No, I kept it.
Kept it.
We kept it.
Okay.
It was a recreation thing, not a
Yeah.
money thing, you
I
know.
guess if you found a
Yeah.
big piece.
We had a
uh,
14-foot camper. We'd take it down and park it all summer. And
like you and a couple guys would go up there.
no, my wife
Oh,
and
your
I.
wife. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And every weekend that we could go, we'd go down there and live in the camper and pan gold,
Pan gold. Well, you
or
mentioned.
pan at gold.
Well, how'd you meet your wife?
That's been a long time ago. I don't know how. It's high school ball game, I think.
High
Yeah.
school.
yeah.
What's your wife's name?
Her name was Virginia.
Virginia.
Yeah.
And was it love at first sight at this baseball game? Or took some winning over.
Hit and miss.
Hit and miss.
I had a lot of tours that she didn't make it. Couldn't go.
Yeah. So she stayed
Yeah,
in the States.
but,
Obviously Vietnam, but yeah, I mean you're going all over the place.
Yeah, she went to Alaska with me. Yeah.
Okay. Did she go to Germany or that?
Yeah, she was in Germany
Okay.
with me. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm,
that's good.
mhm. Yeah.
Well, that's good. Well, let's go back to Vietnam, either first tour or second tour. You said most of the time the bad guys weren't messing with you, but did you have some times where you came under direct attack?
Oh, I think the first or second night in Vietnam, we were living in tents, and we had a intrusion run through the company area. So, you know, we were, the only thing separating us from the outside was a string of barbed wire,
Right.
a concertina wire.
Right.
And those people knew how to get through it.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sappers,
But,
I guess they
yeah,
called them.
Pretty much we were in a secure area at Long Bend. It was a big
Okay.
concern, and there was a lot of barbed wire around the outside perimeter, all the way around. It was a big place.
Yeah, pretty big base.
Yeah. Hmm.
And if I remember correctly, that they had a big prison there too, right?
Oh yeah,
The prison
yeah.
was there?
McVie. Yeah.
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 But you guys had no interaction with.
No,
that,
no.
did you?
That was the safest place to be, in prison.
That's probably true. Did you and your soldiers at the base have to pull security as well? Get your
Well,
some of that?
individual security, yeah.
Yeah.
Not at the prison,
Well,
no.
yeah, not the prison, but like at the.
Oh yeah,
perimeter,
oh yeah.
your
Hmm.
areas and stuff. Okay. Did you have any friends or comrades that were injured or killed during the tour?
I had one gentleman in my company that fell in the river off of the floats, off of the bridge.
Yeah,
And the current was like 12 feet per second.
that's pretty quick.
Yeah, we didn't find him for 3 days later.
He didn't survive.
No. And he had a life jacket on too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But at 12 feet per second at dark, you don't.
Oh, at dark too.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
That's the only casualty I had.
Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
All things considered, that's pretty.
Well,
good
we
job.
were a support unit, not a combat unit,
Well, so how did you keep in touch with your wife or other family members while you were in Vietnam?
Letters.
Letters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Send them, receive them.
Yeah.
Did you get care packages too?
A couple now and then, yeah.
Anything stand out?
No, not really.
No. Okay.
Normal stuff, By the time it gets there, if there was anything in it that was edible and not in cans, it wasn't edible.
Oh, like melted or gone bad and stuff. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you guys were pretty busy, but I'm imagining you probably had some free time. Did you have things you could do in Vietnam for free time?
Not really. No. Well, there was always recreational, Bing Crosby shows,
Okay, USO shows.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and being at Long Bend,
Yeah.
you probably got a fair amount.
Yeah.
Any USO shows stand out?
Oh, I've seen Bing Crosby twice.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
2 different years too,
Okay. Any Bob Hope shows
Not that I
or
remember.
USO dancers?
No. I didn't go in for that stuff.
Yeah, and I'm just curious. Or what about it? Free time, like playing cards or dominoes or horseshoes?
No.
Nothing. Well, how was the food? How was your chow?
Considering everything, it was good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for the sea rations, and
Yeah.
you learned which ones to eat and which ones stay away from.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, we've talked about a lot of stuff, but particularly Vietnam, were there any other specific incidents that stand out? Something funny or humorous or something
Dangerous.
dangerous or scary or
We had bridge trucks, which were big trucks.
what were they called?
Bridge trucks.
Bridge trucks? Okay.
Yeah, they considered them 5 tons, but they hauled 15 ton.
Okay.
And they stopped their convoy. We were hauling supplies. They stopped the convoy. Everyone out to the passenger side, down under the ditch. And they were receiving fire from the left side of the road.
Okay.
And a couple jets come across with napalm. They said, okay, we can go now.
Oh, they dropped the napalm.
Yeah,
How far was the napalm?
you could feel the heat.
You could feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where'd my,
It should be your water.
yeah.
Your other side. I see it. Yeah.
We doing all right there?
We're doing great. How are you doing?
My throat's dry.
Well, you got your water, and they're going to give you lunch a little bit later. Okay, so they dropped some napalm pretty close by.
Yeah,
and,
Yeah, you could feel the heat from it. It was a little knoll,
okay.
and they just cleaned it off, and
Some bad guys over there.
we went on. That's the only encounter we had all the times that we reverted to transportation. The first tour, we hauled a lot of supplies, concertina wire, ammunition, pierced steel planking.
Right.
You know what that is, right?
Sort of. Maybe
The
just
metal,
tell us.
the metal planking
metal
you make
planking.
roads out of, and
Yeah.
so forth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking. Hold your hat up for a second. I saw that down there too. So it says Bronze Star. So
Yeah.
tell us about the Bronze Star that you received.
It's hard to tell you. It came to me after I retired.
Oh, really?
Yeah. My second tour in Vietnam. I was supposed to be there for a year, right? I was there about 6 months, and the Army come out, anyone with over 20 can retire. So I put in for retirement, and it came through.
Okay.
I called the Pentagon and said, yeah, your order's being cut. They'll be down next week. So I kept my mouth shut, done what I was supposed to do. Cleared post, cleared the base, and I went with motor stables where you check maintenance on the vehicles every morning with the headquarters company drivers.
Yeah.
And on Wednesday morning, Sergeant Major come out and said, Bland, you supposed to be on that plane Monday morning. I said, yes, sir. No one told me to leave yet. Get the hell out of here. 6 months later, I got a Bronze Star.
Okay. Okay.
Doing what I was supposed to do before someone told me to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, anticipating.
Yeah.
Well, and you were the first sergeant.
Right.
The second time. Yeah.
But I already had my first sergeant replacement picked, and he was doing the job, and wasn't no problem for me to leave.
Yeah. Well, that's good. You got it 6 months later. But any other awards or citations you got?
Oh, nothing normal. Good conduct medal, seven awards, and so forth. You know, overseas badges and so forth.
Okay.
You know, since 1971, I about forgot a lot of that stuff unless I look on the paper to see what it is now.
1971, 1949, 1971. From either one of your tours in Vietnam specifically, did anything stand out on your homecoming when you came back to the United States?
No, not really. No.
And well, so the second time you came back as an individual, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What about the first time? Was
the
whole unit came back?
No, we rotated. When the unit went over, not everyone was on the same tour, you know. Some people had a year to go, some people had 3 years to go. So after the year was up, they started rotating out, well, actually before that, and switching people from this company to this company.
Okay.
So everyone wouldn't leave at the same time.
Okay, okay.
So when my tour was up, the first tour, I come home, California, flew to West Virginia, flew to D.C.
Got some time off.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because the tour was 12 months was the standard?
Yeah, right.
Okay, okay.
And then after the first tour, I had a house trailer, a 40-foot house trailer, and my wife drove the car, and I drove the truck and the trailer, and we went to Alaska for 3 years.
Oh, for the next assignment.
Yeah.
Oh, you drove from Fort Belvoir, Virginia? Area?
No, Petersburg, West Virginia.
Or you were back in West Virginia.
Pulled that 40-foot house trailer to Alaska.
That must have been a trip.
Oh, it was fun.
Yeah, I could see that.
I done it with 2 flat tires.
Really?
I only had 2 flat tires all the way.
Huh.
Yeah.
But that worked out.
Well, had to stop and go to a place and get them changed, put new tires on.
Yeah.
Sears and Roebuck.
Okay.
Well, Sears and Roebuck then, Sears now, they're out of existence, aren't they?
I think so.
Yeah.
Did you ever go back to Alaska?
Yeah.
After your service? Yeah, you went back.
We went back for 5 weeks. I can't remember when, but in the 80s.
Sure. Okay.
We drove the van up. We drove up and back. We was going up there 5 weeks.
Good.
Went to where our gold claim was, and went to see some friends that we had that were still civilians living there, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, and then from your Vietnam time, did you stay in contact with any of those guys?
Not really. Some of them were in our units in Alaska, in my unit in Alaska, but generally speaking, a lot of them were draftees.
Yeah.
And when their time was up, they got out, you know. Yeah.
Any like reunions of your unit or get-togethers, or do you go to any of the Vietnam type ceremonies?
No.
Okay.
They're all so far away. This is the closest one to my home that I get to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're glad you came out. What'd you do after your military career?
I worked for the state of West Virginia.
Okay. What'd you do?
I taught classes for a year.
Okay.
Took my civil service test, went to work for the state of West Virginia at the fish hatchery.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you like that?
Yeah, it was. There's something different all year long. You know, spring of the year you stalk fish, fall of the year you stalk fish, July you spawn fish, raise some other ones, and it was a cycle. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were outside a lot,
Oh yeah,
working
yeah,
with the water and the fish.
yeah. Hip boots on,
Okay. Are
water
you,
3 feet deep, colder than the Dickens.
are you a fisherman or a hunter as well?
Not anymore.
No.
Not anymore. No. You work with fish, you don't fish.
Okay.
I don't
I
anyway.
like to eat fish. I don't really fish though.
We raise trout.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like trout.
Yeah, and the hatchery I worked at is the one that come up with the golden trout. You familiar with them?
I'm not. What's a golden
Well,
trout?
they're just like a trout, except they're gold in color.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've heard of the rainbow trout.
Well, that's what we raised, rainbow, basically. Yeah.
Well, just got a few questions left. But how do you think your wartime experience affected the rest of your life, either your outlook or just in general?
I don't think it affected it any.
Okay.
Tell you the truth, you know, I done what I had to do, what I was supposed to do, and when I got out, left it behind me, other than some friends I had and so forth like that. You know.
Yep. Well, I liked what you said before too. You tried to anticipate, do things that needed to be done
Yeah.
before you were told, or
Yeah. Well,
planning ahead.
as first sergeant, you had to.
Yeah, exactly. Well, again, thinking about your wartime service, your military service, 21 years, multiple promotions, recognized for your great service. If there was one more thing that you'd want kids or grandkids or just future generations to know about you and your military service, what would that be?
Well, I never got in trouble.
You never got in trouble?
I done what I was supposed to do when I was supposed to do it, or at least tried to. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and I learned that in basic training, and it stuck with me all the way through till I got out. And I never got demoted. I always went up in rank.
Yeah.
From when I went in, you was a recruit, you know, and then you went to private, and then went to private first class, and you know, E1, and also, so I come out as a E8, of course E9 sergeant major,
Right.
and I done good, I think.
No, you definitely did a lot of cool stuff. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Mr. Bland, the last question is always the proverbial last question. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about or revisit or cover? Did we miss anything?
No, I think we've covered about everything that's important or not important, whatever.
Well, it's been fascinating for me. I probably should have told you in the beginning, I'm retired Army as well.
Are you?
So it's always great to meet.
And your rank?
Well, I was a colonel by the time I retired, but a first sergeant is very impressive as well. So it's always good to see other Army
My
folks.
first tour in Germany, transportation, went up for Soldier of the Month, right?
Yeah.
Went to battalion headquarters, right? And we had a major there that pretty red in the face. And they interviewed him, and they asked me a question, and I could not think, and he held up 2 fingers. And it come to me right now. And I made Soldier of the Month that month.
Well, what were the 2 fingers?
I can't remember now,
Oh.
but it was an indication of what he was asking, the answer to it, you know.
Yeah, I was trying to help you out.
Yeah, well, this is 1951, 52 too. You know, it's memory gets away from
Yeah,
you
I
after
know.
a while.
And why do you think his face was so red? You remember that?
Yeah, I know why his face was red.
Why?
He was an alcoholic,
Oh, okay. Okay, oh, I don't know. Well, so,
but he was a good guy too.
yeah.
When he was on duty, he was straight.
Well, put your hat on for a second. Let's get that on the camera there, too. So, well, all right, sir. Like I said, again, it's been a pleasure to talk to you.
Well,